Hey everyone, welcome to our video on Bona RollGuard application. Again, this product, another big step forward in Bona silane technology. We got a single component, one coat silane-based moisture barrier sealer or vapor retarder, depending on how you're using it, that we think is going to make your job, or we know is going to make your job, easier, faster, and more environmentally conscious because of the chemical layout of the product. But this is the part I like most. Let's get the product down. Let's show you how easy it is to use, and then all the benefits will come through as we get this great product put in place. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, is make sure our substrates, whether it's a wooden subfloor or a concrete slab, that they're prepared and ready for a good coat of RollGuard so it can do its job when it gets on the floor. According to NWFA, National Wood Flooring Association, you want to get your substrate clean, dry, and flat. And by flat, they mean 3/16 of an inch in 10 feet. And that's really a good measure for both concrete and wooden substrates. We also want it to be structurally sound, porous, and have a concrete surface profile of 3, which equals kind of a light broom finish. You don't want it, super glassy and smooth. The product has to be able to penetrate into it to get some bite. And on any of those surfaces or substrates, we want them to be clean. We want to remove old adhesive residue, paint, sealers, curing agents, any other type of contaminants. If we have to, we might have to replace some OSB or plywood. You might have to grind down some concrete to get that surface prepared. But that's always the first thing in getting a good application. Once we are clean, dry, and flat, we can go from there. One coat application for Bona RollGuard. And it could be what we call one coat thin or one coat heavy. So on our one coat thin applications, that's going to be at about 400 to 500 square feet per 5-liter container. Most common application for that is going to be wooden subfloors, where we're using this as a vapor retarder, where it's going to protect up to a 20% moisture content down in those wooden subfloor systems and prevent that excessive moisture from coming up into our wood that we're putting on top. But typically we're going to be putting it down one thin coat there. Also on concrete floors, when we're pairing it with Bona Quantum adhesives with the 1250 or 1500 trowel, so we're putting on the adhesive heavier with those trowels, then we can put down a little thinner coat of Bona RollGuard, because as a system, we're getting good coverage all the way across between the adhesive and the RollGuard. We don't have to put as heavy of a coat down there. So to get that application rate, pretty simple. We're going to pour a 3 or 4 inch wide line of RollGuard right down the middle of that work area. After we get our puddle poured out, we're going to take our roller, we're going to straddle that puddle, roll it out 2 feet on either side to cover our 4-foot section. And we're just going to work that puddle all the way down our run to finish out that section. Now, you may notice that where you poured that puddle, once you roll over it once or twice, you still may have a little bit of a darker shadow. This product is fairly thick in viscosity. That is telling me that I still have a little heavy spot right there. So just continue to work that out back and forth until you get rid of that shadow. That'll ensure that you've got a nice, even application. And just repeat. Go to your next section. Pour that 3 or 4 inch wide line down the middle of it and start rolling out to 2 feet on either side. See? Pretty easy. Same thing if we want to apply a heavy application. So that's going to mean 200 to 250 square feet per 5-liter container. A lot of times for the heavy coat application is going to be when we're on concrete floors prior to leveling compounds, because we want the RollGuard to be heavy there to seal the floor, but also to be able to accept the sand that we're casting into it. Any glue down using the engineered flooring trowel or engineered plus or the 1000F trowel, because those put it down a little thinner. There we're going to want, again, a thicker application of RollGuard so that that system all together between RollGuard and our adhesive, we've got plenty of moisture protection there between the two products acting as a system. Same with a floating floor, because we're not putting any adhesive under that, you're just gluing the tongue and groove together on those systems. We want to put a heavier coat down of RollGuard on the subfloors under those to just make sure we're fully protected against any moisture mitigation coming up from our subfloor. And that would include non-wood floors too, carpet, LVT, LVP. We're going to want to put a heavy application under those to make sure we've got full protection. So how do I get the heavier application? This time we're going to pour that line out 6 or 8 inches wide down the middle of our 4-foot section, and we've got more product to work out. So naturally, if we're staying within the confines of that 4-foot run, we're just going to have a thicker coat. Again, making sure that I'm eliminating any shadows from the puddle, which may be more now since I'm pouring out more product to begin with. But again, it's that easy. I'm pouring a 3 or 4 inch wide line, or I'm pouring a 6 to 8, but my process all the way around other than that is exactly the same. If you're more used maybe to, again, applying waterborne sealers and finishes, you can always try maybe the typical waterborne roller application method with those, where now I'm pouring my puddle a lot closer to my section I just got done with, and I'm standing back and rolling that puddle back and forth a number of times to, again, get it spread out. But I'd really recommend, even if you want to try it that way, try the straddle method. I find it a lot easier because a lot of times you do need to put a little more pressure on your applicator. When you're putting down sealers and finishes, we always recommend fingertip pressure. Here, we're actually going to recommend putting a little added pressure on it to just make sure you get this thicker viscosity product spread out. And as you can see, applying RollGuard is super easy. So go get some Bona RollGuard for your next job to ensure against current and future moisture issues. It couldn't be easier for you to protect you and your customers and their beautiful floors.